Have you ever felt weighed down by what our sources today call spectral static?
Yeah, that heavy, lingering background guilt.
Exactly. It's like, it persists even after you thought a mistake was completely resolved. You apologize, you try to move on, but that hum of failure is still just vibrating in the back of your mind.
Right, and today on our deep dive, we're looking at a stack of texts surrounding the Logos constant, specifically its dual resolution framework.
Right. And our mission is to unpack this model to discover how it proposes we cure that persistent static and achieve what it calls spiritual ductility.
Yeah, the framework tackles the static by splitting the solution into two distinct directions. The first focuses entirely upward, so the vertical axis.
Okay, so like a direct line to the divine.
Exactly. In the Catholic tradition, for example, this is the sacramental axis, where a priest provides divine forgiveness or absolution. This vertical exchange does something very specific. It clears your ontological debt.
Wait, let's pause on ontological debt because that sounds intense. We aren't just talking about a tally mark of bad deeds, right?
No, no, not at all.
It's more about the fundamental damage done to human nature.
Yes, it's a structural disruption. The texts describe unabsolved mistakes as throwing you out of sync with the divine architect. So, vertical absolution restores that sync, achieving an acoustic lock.
An acoustic lock, I like that.
Right, think of it like tuning a radio. Suddenly you are back on the exact right frequency, which eliminates that background spectral static.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and this tuning acts as the ultimate Berman, which is the theological term for the cure here. When you are locked into that divine frequency, your soul is structurally reinforced.
So it prevents it from collapsing into brittleness under the weight of guilt. I actually like to think of this like a factory reset on a glitching phone.
Oh, that's a really good analogy.
Right. You take it in, push the button, and the core operating system is wiped completely clean of whatever malware was ruining it. But wait, if the system is wiped perfectly clean by divine forgiveness, why do we still feel the painful friction of our mistakes in our daily relationships?
Yeah, that's the big question.
I mean, why does my phone still feel broken?
Well, because a factory reset clears the software, but it does absolutely nothing to fix a cracked screen.
Oh man, that makes so much sense.
Right, to heal the real-world friction, the physical relational mess left behind, which the texts label as dirt, you have to face the actual people you hurt.
Okay, so this brings us to the second half of the model, the horizontal resolution.
Exactly.
So I can't just pray away the cracked screen. How does this framework suggest we actually fix the hardware of our relationships?
It requires what they call a restorative loop. This is about mutual accountability and direct reconciliation with the injured party.
Okay.
And the core mechanic here is proportional restitution. So the consequence you face has to match the gravity of the damage you caused.
Right, so if you just bumped into someone, a quick apology works.
Yeah, but if the damage involves, say, a failed marriage or lost life savings, the restitution carries that exact proportional weight.
Honestly, that sounds terrifying.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Facing the full weight of a massive mistake isn't something most of us naturally want to do.
It is terrifying, but leaning into that, sincere friction is the true catalyst for interior transformation. Facing the music is what actually builds spiritual ductility.
Let's define that real quick because spiritual ductility is the ultimate goal of this entire framework. Ductility in metallurgy is a metal's ability to be stretched or pulled into a wire without snapping.
Exactly. And spiritually, it's the ability to absorb impact, endure stress, and deform without breaking.
Wow.
When you endure the sincere friction of making things right horizontally, you are structurally changing your character.
Yeah.
You don't get strong by avoiding the heavy weight of your actions, right? You build tensile strength by lifting it.
Right, so true restoration fundamentally requires both axes working in tandem. The vertical drop of grace clears the ultimate spiritual debt, but it's the horizontal grind of proportional restitution that physically reforms us.
Spot on. And the church acts as the engineer guiding this dual process. By combining that vertical forgiveness with the horizontal restitution, you actually prevent the repetition of the sin.
Right, so the engineer ensures that the Derman, the cure, goes exactly as deep as the wound itself,
Precisely.
which prevents us from settling for cheap grace. Right?
Yeah.
Like expecting a cosmic pardon to get you out of the hard, messy work of human repair.
Yeah, it forces a complete accounting of our actions, both structurally and relationally.
Right. So we leave you with this. If you are experiencing that spectral static in your own life today, you probably need both the vertical absolution and the sincere friction of a horizontal apology to build that ductility.
Definitely.
But consider this. If achieving true spiritual strength requires facing those we've hurt, what happens when the person you owe that proportional restitution to is no longer alive or outright refuses to speak to you? How do you close the restorative loop then?